And so it begins, with a bang and a breeze. Well, nothing says Tour de France quite like a GC favourite getting absolutely pancaked by a gust of wind before the race has even properly started. Welcome to stage 1 of the 2025 Tour. Ladies and gentlemen, a 206-kilometre panic attack dressed up as a professional bike race. And for Remco Evenepoel, it was the cycling equivalent of waking up late, realising your house is on fire, and then locking yourself out. Because at 17 kilometres to go, just when everyone was settling into that, oh, we'll just roll in and sprint it out mindset, the cycling gods decided to spice things up with a cute little crosswind. Only it wasn't so cute for Remco, who watched the peloton literally split in half while Jonas Vingegaard casually summoned the wrath of Thor on the front group. Yes, Vingegaard decided to turn eco-friendly rage into Watts and laid down the hammer. And Remco? Oh, he was there, just not in the right there. Cue the time gap, 39 seconds by the end. Yep, 39. That's not just a gap, that's a, where did everyone go and why am I in a different zip code situation. And while 39 seconds may not seem like much in real life, in Tour de France GC reality, it might as well be the Mariana Trench. We fell asleep a bit. Tactical nap time with Soudal Quickstep. Now, to be clear, it's not like Remco Evenepoel is the kind of rider who regularly makes mistakes. Oh wait, yes it is. At least today it was, because when asked post-stage what went wrong, the Belgian prodigy decided to go full confessional booth. Quote, "We fell asleep a bit. I think we were not really expecting crosswind anymore." Well, thank goodness. They weren't expecting it. Because heaven forbid anyone on a multi-million euro cycling team might actually check a weather app. Or, use their eyes and notice the flags flapping sideways at 45 degrees. That's clearly an unreasonable ask. Apparently, Soudal Quickstep had been, quote, riding well all day, which is an interesting way of saying we were near the front until it actually mattered. Once the wind hit, the group shattered like your hopes of beating Tadej Pogačar on a summit finish. And there was Remco, somewhere in Group B, C or possibly Z, realising he was on the wrong side of a tactical masterclass. He continued calmly, quote, "It was our mistake, a big mistake." Yep, it was a big mistake, like forgetting your passport at the airport, or showing up to a job interview in flip-flops. Or trying to win the Tour de France and getting dropped in stage freaking 1. It's silly seconds we've lost. The stand-up comedy tour begins. Of course, no breakdown is complete without a bit of self-depreciating optimism. Remco had one more gem for the press. Quote, "It's silly seconds we've lost. We have to accept it and shift our focus to tomorrow." Ah yes, silly seconds. The kind of silly that makes your rivals grin like hyenas. The kind of silly that gets quoted for the next 3 weeks every time you're 39 seconds off someone's wheel. The kind of silly that ruins your entire GC campaign before you've even put on your first yellow jersey. To be fair, he's not wrong. The loss is in theory small, but in practice, those 39 seconds are now the Everest he has to climb. One awkward wind-blasted stage at a time. And he knows it. Meanwhile, up front, Vingegaard and even Tadej Pogačar, aka the Holy Trinity of Pain, were all chilling like they came from a coffee ride. Oh, and I forgot Van der Poel. That makes the Holy Trinity. Not only were they present, they were pushing the pace. And Remco, he was somewhere behind them trying to remember this was still stage 1, or if he'd entered a parallel universe of suffering. Body language of doom. Please don't talk to me. If you were looking for signs of hope post-stage, you wouldn't have found them in Remco's body language, because the 24-year-old didn't just look disappointed, he looked like someone who had just dropped their phone down an airport toilet. Upon finishing, He didn't do the usual GC contender post-stage routine, smile politely, toss a bottle to a fan, maybe joke with teammates. No, this was gritted teeth, short answers, head down, and strategic avoidance of eye contact with anyone holding a microphone. Reporters, they brushed past. Fans, barely a nod. Teammates, probably considering temporary witness protection. Remco looked like a man trying to walk off the worst date of his life, and unfortunately, he's stuck on his tour date for 3 more weeks. The message was clear. This was not part of the plan. This was not what the master strategist had cooked up in his pro-season notebook. This was the worst case scenario, disguised as a mediocre time loss. And the press? Oh, they smelt blood. Questions flew like arrows. Were you too far back? Was it poor positioning? Did you check the forecast? Remco's answers? A mix of, it happened, we misjudged. Intense Belgium brooding silence. The road ahead, clawing back from 39 seconds of doom. Let's not sugarcoat it. Losing 39 seconds on day 1 is an absolute nightmare for a GC hopeful. Not because the time gap is insurmountable. Remco is still within a minute of the podium contenders, but because it wasn't supposed to happen. It wasn't a plan, and Remco admitted that in the post-stage interviews. This wasn't a summit finish though. This wasn't an ITT where someone went full alien mode. This was a flat, crosswind prone, obvious danger stage, and Soudal Quickstep blew it. Now the question is, how do you claw back those seconds as Remco? Well, you hope someone else messes up like you did, or you attack in a mountain stage and pray Vingegaard and Pogačar let you go. If you hope Tadej decides to stop racing and open a coffee shop mid-tour, good luck, it's never going to happen. Because catching back 39 seconds on Jonas Vingegaard or Tadej Pogačar is like trying to win an argument with your GPS. Sure, you can try, but you're going to end up going in circles while it recalculates your broken dreams in the same direction every time. And let's not forget, those two aren't just riders, they're stage dominating, what producing, joy crushing, machine human hybrids. Remco needs to either drop them on a mountain, annihilate them in a time trial, or hope that karma suddenly cares about Belgians suffering. He's most likely to pick the time trial route. In short, it's not over for Remco, but it's gotten extremely difficult and dramatically harder. From now on, every second matters for him. Every positioning error is radioactive. Every wind gust is a death sentence. Every quote is a headline. Final thoughts. Remco's reality check. So where does this leave our boy Remco Evenepoel? Exactly 39 seconds behind where he wanted to be, but also 1,000 mental miles away from the confidence that he came into this race with. Because stage 1 was supposed to be a formality, a rolling introduction, a calm before the storm. Instead, it was a sucker punch, a slap in the face, and a tactical cold shower all wrapped into one brutal wake-up call. Damn, it's gonna be dramatic. Subscribe to my channel if you're new here and I'll catch you in the next one.